Welcome to Granny Peach's Kitchen with Chris and Blair. Today we're going to do a Cinnabon remake. I want you guys to try this one at home. It's really easy and it's very good. And if you love Cinnabon like we love Cinnabon, you love this recipe. Okay guys, we're going to start with the heavy whipping cream. We're going to have this warm, not hot. We're going to have that with 2.5 teaspoons of instant dry yeast. We're going to mix those two together. That's why we can't have this too hot. And then we're going to have 4.5 cups of flour, all-purpose. We got 1/2 cup of granulated sugar. We have 1/2 teaspoon of salt. We have 2 eggs. And we have 1/3 cup of salted butter, melted or room temperature. It's up to you. Melted would be fine as well. And we're going to mix all of these things together. I will have all of the information in the description. Once we get that, we're going to go over while that's rising. We're going to let it rise. We're going to set the oven for 200, and then once it gets to 200, we're going to turn it off and let it stay warm so we can let the dough rise in the oven for about 30 minutes. You don't want it to rise too much. You just want it twice the size that it is. Okay, so now we're going to go to the filling. We're going to use 1 cup of packed brown sugar, 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. We have 1/2 teaspoon of vanilla, or you can use maple, whichever you like. That's your choice. We're also going to have 1/2 cup of whipping cream, and we're going to leave that warm as well. So once we roll out the dough and put the cinnamon in it and roll it up real tight, cut it, put it in the pan. When we put it in the pan, we're going to pour that other 1/2 cup over it. So then we're going to mix the frosting. We're going to use a 6 ounce of cream cheese. I didn't put it out. I apologize. 1/3 cup of salted butter and 2 cups of powdered sugar and 1 teaspoon of vanilla. Or if you want orange or if you want maple, you do what you like. But we're going to do vanilla because we're going to do the Cinnabon type. We'll be right back, and we want you to set the oven. Once we get finished rising the dough, we want you to preheat the oven at 375 to put these rolls in for 20 to 22 minutes. Okay, guys, we're going to take all of the ingredients and put them over in the mixer. We got the warm milk. We're going to drizzle the yeast over. Yeast needs to be room temperature. If it was opened in the refrigerator from before, you don't want to kill it, so don't make the milk too warm. We're going to pour everything over in there. We're going to pour the sugar, the salt, everything. And because this is instant dry yeast, you don't have to, I should have did the eggs first, but I guess it really don't matter because we're going to be mixing everything in here together. We're going to mix this really quick for a second. And then we'll add in everything else, the butter and the flour. I just want to show you how I'm going to mix this flour in here. Okay, guys, when I say measure out, 4 cups of flour, I mean I want you to actually take and measure out and make sure that you, I know I'm making a little mess here, but when you measure it out, make sure that you're taking your knife and going across the edge to make sure that it's just 4, because your dough is supposed to be tacky. It's not supposed to be, you know, smooth, or it's not supposed to be so tacky that it's sticking to you and it's not coming loose. It comes right loose, but you just measure out 4 cups like this, and then we'll be back. Okay, guys, so basically you're just looking for it to get all of the dough at the bottom and for it to stick to itself. And once it's done that, the job of the mixer is done. You can actually do it on your own. Chris will show you some little steps that you can do with kneading. Once you get it all mixed together, you can actually just take the flour and put the flour down and just pour all of the liquids over into the flour and the mix the dry together. Then once you mix the dry together, then pour the milk over, the milk and liquid substance over, and just smooth it in with your hand. You can look at one of my other videos with the flour for the bread, and you can see what I'm talking about. But you can knead and get the same thing. You don't have to have a stand mixer.
As you see how I cleaned the bowl at the bottom, that's what we wanted to do.
So here's the dough after it's done. You really don't have to have a mixer, a stand-up mixer. It's up to you how you do it. My grandsons, they like to knead dough, so it would be beneficial for them to do it another way. But I'm gonna go ahead and take this and put it in the I'm gonna let him knead it a little bit, and he's gonna show you what it means to knead. Yep, push down like you do. Good job, Chris. You gotta put that work in. So you can do it without the mixer. It's just gonna be a lot of work. The counter is all clean and he's wearing gloves, so we don't have that to worry about. But I just wanted to show you that part. And okay, Chris. Good job, big boy. Good job. Here, hold this 1 second. So, give me 1 moment to change gloves, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so we're gonna grease our bowl with Pam or whatever kind of spray oil you have, and just make a ball out of your dough. Push it towards the back and just make a ball out of it. What you're going to try to do is, like I said before, you can preheat your oven to 200 and turn it off right after it heats to that consistency, just so you can have a warm place. And you just take a towel. 1 moment, son. I'm going to bring it over here. You take any towel, a clean towel, of course, but take a towel and put it over the over your dough and stick it in the oven. The oven will be off. Okay, guys, so we're back. We're going to make the filling for the Cinnabon, the cinnamon rolls. That's Cinnabon worthy. We're going to put the vanilla in. And we're going to put the butter in. It's a half a stick of butter. It's a half a teaspoon of vanilla. And it is a stick of butter, which is a half a cup of butter. And you just mix it up really well till everything is combined. And we're just doing this while we're waiting on the bread to rise. And you just mix it until it's all mixed together. And I'll show you what that consistency looks like in just a moment. Okay, guys, so now I have the vanilla and the brown sugar and the butter mixed together. I kind of take my time and add the cinnamon in all at once, and, you know, after it's all mixed in together, so I can have all of those flavors together. You saw the consistency that we had, and I use light brown sugar because the cinnamon is gonna make it dark all by itself. You don't need the extra. So, and I'll show you what that consistency looks like when we get back. Okay, guys, this is what your brown sugar mixture should look like. It's brown sugar, cinnamon, butter, and vanilla. This is what it should look like. So once the dough is finished rising, we want it about twice the size. Once it gets to that consistency, we'll take it out. We don't want it to stay in there too long because we don't want it to get airy on the inside. And we'll let you see how that turns out. Okay, guys, this has risen. It's not as big as I wanted it to be, but it's big enough. We're gonna sprinkle some dough, some flour down, so that we can go ahead and roll this out.
Daddy, why is it dust on the towel?
This is flour, sweetheart.
Said this. Yeah, it did.
So we want it to be like rectangular. So what we're gonna do is kind of shape it a little bit how we want it. And then I'm going to sprinkle a little more flour on the top of it, just a little bit, not enough to do any changing to it. And then I'm going to get the rolling pin and roll it from here. Okay guys, so you see the consistency here. It's pretty much all over. And we're going to start rolling from here. And you're going to roll tight and just roll and pull back towards you, stretching it. And you just come all the way down. You're going to go from the long side so you can make plenty of cinnamon rolls. And you just keep rolling. Make it a little tight as you go. Keep it a little tight. And roll. And roll. See where I'm going with it? And the middle is always going to look like it's more. So what you do is pull it on out and stretch it and pull it down to the end. Because you want to make at least 12 cinnamon rolls out of this consistency. It may be a little bit more left because the ends are going to get cut off. And those will be... Okay guys, so we're going to roll this out and try to do it kind of rectangular. What we're looking for is for it to be about 24 inches by, I don't know, maybe about 15 or so inches going the other way. I don't want to touch that. I don't want to touch that. If you see that like the middle is a little bigger, just kind of push it out so it can do what you want it to do on the other end. But you don't want any of it to be thinner than the other. You may have some that might be, but for the most part, we're going to work it all the way. Come, Blair, come move this chalk. Come. Okay, I just need it out of my mouth. Okay, well, that's fine. I'm worried about this cinnamon roll, sweetheart.
Granny wasn't too good at it.
You say you wasn't too good at it? Oh, I thought you meant me.
I said both of us.
Oh, no, I was fine. I think that was you. Granny pretty good at spades, Monkey.
Okay, are we watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse or are we doing cooking with Granny?
We doing cooking with Granny, but we gonna talk junk while we at it. That's fine.
No,
that's what y'all do around here on the normal.
When you laugh, it's
Okay,
funny.
guys. So now we can take this mixture that we made.
Oh, I can't wait for this.
And just pour it on over there and mix it. You just wiping it. It's gonna get all over it regardless. You're gonna take it and you're gonna get all of it out of here. So we'll have it for the whole thing.
Granny, you making one big one?
No, you're gonna watch how Granny does it.
Okay.
Just keep watching. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. Keep rolling. So you're gonna cover the whole thing up. You're going to make sure you spread this out evenly and spread it out all over because it's going to go all the way through because you're rolling it. So, you just, because the butter was at room temperature, you're going to be all good. But you make sure you get all of this goodness out of here because that's
the best part.
Yes, this is what makes the cinnamon roll the cinnamon roll. So you just take you a spatula or whatever you have and smash it down and get it all over it. And when I get it all the way as nice and neat as I want it, then I'll let you see where I'm at. Okay, so we're just stretching this on out here so we can make sure that we have 12. And what you're going to do is cut the ends off. Cut the ends off here so that what you do cut, it'll be a full cinnamon roll for the rest of them. So what you can do is just go through here and kind of score how you think they might be. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Oh, well, this one kind of made more, but that's because I kind of scored them a little different. I think I'm going to turn it on the other side so I can make sure that they're going to be wide as I want them to be. But only make 12. Don't make more than 12 with this so that they can come out thick like Cinnabon. Kind of score them to the same size. 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay. And then you could just cut from there. And you just cut from there. And then we'll see you back in a second. Okay, guys. So what we're going to do is take these. I'm going to spray the pan. We're not going to cook all of them tonight. I'm going to stick some of them in the refrigerator. But what I am going to do is cook a few of them tonight. I'm going to cook some of the bigger ones so we can have these tonight. And I'm going to do these little extras and put those in there.
Or we can cook all of them.
No, we're not cooking all of them because ain't nobody going to eat all of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take that extra milk. Now, that milk was supposed to be for all of them, but we're not cooking all of them. So we're going to take this milk, the sweet milk, and pour it over it. We're going to sit it in the oven and let it rise a little bit more before we stick it in the oven for the, we're going to let it sit for about 20 minutes. The sweet milk, the heavy whipping cream, is so that it can be ooey gooey at the bottom. That's what that mixture is for. So I'm going to cover it, stick it in the oven for about 15-20 minutes, and then we're going to take it and put it in the oven for 375 degrees. Okay, guys, I got the butter and the cream cheese already mixed in, put in. I'm going to put the vanilla in. This is the frosting. I was supposed to have been doing this while the Cinnabons were in the oven, but I'm going to mix these two and blend all of this together. And then a little by little, I'm just going to add the sugar in, the powdered sugar in, which is the confectionate sugar. Or confection sugar, however you pronounce it, but do a little bit at a time so you don't have a big bounce over. But I'll be back as soon as I get finished mixing this. Okay, guys, so the Cinnabons came out the oven, and this is what they look like. You see the ooey gooey down in there in the bottom, and this is the frosting that I finished. So the recipe for this will be in the description. And I'm going to go ahead and pull this out. This is still hot, but we're going to do ours hot and pull them out so you can see all of that ooey gooey bunch of love in here. I could have used a bigger pan so they have a little more room. But ooh, see that ooey gooey down in the bottom? Now, I'm going to take some of this frosting.
Oh my gosh, goodness.
And lather the top and let these boys have a taste of that. And we'll be back. Girl is about to get her some too. The good thing about being at home with it is you can have as much frosting as you like. So I'm so greedy. I want y'all to see that. You see how flaky that is on the inside? That is what a cinnamon roll does. Okay, guys, so these are the ones that we're going to put in the oven later. We just let them finish rising in the pan. I think I'm going to put them in a bigger pan tomorrow, but I'm about to put these in the refrigerator. When you put them in the refrigerator, what you need to do is, when you take them out, when you decide to take them out, you make sure that you take them out and let them sit out for about a half an hour. And you take some lukewarm whipping cream, heavy whipping cream, and pour over the top just enough so it'll have the ooey gooey in the bottom. And then you stick it in the oven on 375 as you would. So at least 30 minutes, 30-40 minutes, let them sit out so they can get room temperature. And then go ahead and stick them in the oven. Okay, guys, you better blow it. It's hot. I told you to blow it.
Oh, good.
Y'all excuse those dishes. They've been washed. They just sitting in the drain board drying. They've been waiting a while for this. You doing your little turkey dance. Okay, how is it, Chris? Okay, so what you want the subscribers and non-subscribers to do? Like and subscribe.